Today's video topic is inspired by this novel, Sophie Kinsella's I've Got Your Number. I'm currently reading this for the Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon, which is going on this week, and it's brought up some interesting thoughts that I wanted to discuss with you guys. Mainly just really thinking about whiny and insecure female protagonists in women's fiction and across all genres. I know that you immediately start to think about the young adult genre, but I found these type of female protagonists not only in young adult but also in the new adult genre. I found these type of female protagonists in women's contemporary fiction, or chick lit as it is called. I found these type of protagonists in literary fiction. I mean, it's just all the way across the board. You can find these type of female protagonists. I'm not that far into the novels so far. However, reading this, I'm not sure how I feel about our main character, Papi. She has a lot of insecurities brought on by the people that she surrounds herself with. The guy that she is engaged to is almost a genius in a way, and his intellect is far superior to hers, or so she believes. And being around him and his family members makes her very, very insecure. She beats down on herself. She's very afraid to speak up around them because she feels that her words are not as important and as necessary to the conversations as theirs. She cannot understand what they're saying. She's not really able to join in when they are conversing with one another. And she almost feels embarrassed by the fact that she doesn't understand what they're talking about. She is a very likable character in other ways. She has a big heart. She has a passion for her career. She has friends. She is very kind and very funny. Her kind of naivete and fumbling is charming, really. So I ask myself, why does she choose to surround herself with people that only continue to bring her down and make her feel that she's not enough? And these are the type of insecurities and type of female protagonist characteristics that I find in a lot of chick lit and women's fiction. Are these women who are bright, who are loved, and come from, you know, a stable background, so to speak. They have a great job, they have friends, you know, they have things going for them. They're funny, they're charming, and yet they choose to surround themselves with either someone or someones who make them feel that something about them is lacking and that they're not enough. And this feeds on their inner insecurities that they already have, whether it's about their appearance or whether it's about their choices in life when it comes to love or career, whether it's about their financial status. They always have some type of insecurity that these people that they've chosen to surround themselves with only then magnify and almost make worse. And it's hard to read books like this because on one hand, you really are sympathizing with the character and you're rooting for the character and you want the character to evolve in a way and learn and grow and just kind of give a middle finger to those people and realize how amazing they are and how much they don't need that in their life. But on the other hand, it can be very frustrating to watch this character sort of make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Now, when it comes to young adult fiction, you almost find the opposite. You find a character that is not yet in a career field. Young adult female protagonists are usually between the ages of 13 and 17, so it's all of that adolescent insecurities, mostly having to do with the social status of the female protagonist or the appearance of the female protagonist. And that can become frustrating as well. So I think that there is a fine line when it comes to building a female protagonist that is both relatable and you can have compassion for and root for, and then a female protagonist that just comes off as really whiny and overly insecure. There's a very fine line. First of all, depending on the reader. For some people, one female protagonist can actually come off as lovable and, you know, oh, look at them fumbling through life, and that can be something that you can really look at as appealing. And for another reader, it can be very frustrating and almost angering and kind of makes the reader disconnect with the book and not want to continue reading the book. In New Adult, the female protagonist's insecurities almost directly relates to a boy. Whether it's a boy whose attention they're trying to get, a boy whose attention they don't feel that they deserve, a boy who is, you know, kind of like above them, or or, you know, someone they feel is out of their league. It's always connected to a male protagonist and a love interest in a way, which is very frustrating and very annoying. And then these insecurities are further magnified by their other female protagonists surrounding our main female protagonist, her friends, who only choose to see her through a lens of how sexually desirable she is. Yes. Then we get this sort of false insecurity, which is when a writer overcompensates in a character's flaws in order to make that character more palatable to the reader, and in order to kind of try to fool the reader into thinking that this character is someone who is an underdog. The main female protagonist will be beautiful and thin with, you know, porcelain skin and no skin problems, and all these boys falling all over themselves to talk to her, and yet she will not realize her own appeal. She will probably trip or have some other type of adorable flaw, and she will basically beat down on herself to the point where you just want to throw the book against the wall and say, wake up, honey, you're beautiful. You don't have a lot of problems. He does want to date you. Get over it. So what do you guys think? How do you feel about the whiny and insecure female protagonist in literature and just in fiction all across the board? I'm not sure yet, you know. I think that it's definitely a fine line. I think it has a lot to do with the writing and how the character is constructed. A really good example that comes to mind is Rainbow Rowell's Eleanor and Park. Eleanor is very much an insecure female protagonist and actually very whiny at times. And I know a lot of people dislike the novel because of Eleanor's character, but I love that book. I believe I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I really enjoyed Eleanor's character, even though I didn't find her likable or even necessarily relatable all the time. I thought she was very realistic, and I thought the way she was written rang very true. Her insecurities made sense. They were grounded in her background and history, and her whininess also made sense because it was connected to something very real going on in her life and in the story. So I got that. Also, Eleanor wasn't your typical female protagonist in YA where, you know, they're thin and beautiful and highly pursued by the males. No, she was overweight and sort of dressed funny, and her hair was not always, you know, tamed, or the societal norm of how curly hair should look. Sure, insecurities were valid, and that didn't detract from her attractiveness or from her worth, but they were valid. That's why I think writing is so powerful, because in a writer's words, you can be able to craft a female protagonist that is whiny and insecure, and yet the novel and the story around the protagonist is one that actually makes that enjoyable to read. You know, you have in a lot of literary fiction, these female protagonists are metaphors, and there's something deeper going on, and there's a message behind the story and what the writer is trying to say. It's not just about relating to the character. It's not about likability. You don't even have to like the character. You don't have to relate to them. You don't have to care for them whatsoever. And yet the character can still impact you. You can still enjoy the novel, even love the novel. The character can still move you and really affect you in a positive way, and yet teach you something and help you in the journey of reading that story to get to where the author wants you to be at the end. So maybe we just need better written, whiny female protagonists. Maybe we just need their insecurities to actually stand for something and mean something deeper than just their insecurities. So I want to hear back from you guys. How do you feel about this topic? I feel like I could go on and on forever. I have so many thoughts and I wasn't really able to organize them appropriately for this video. I kind of just turned the camera on and started talking. While I've been reading I've Got Your Number, I've just had all these thoughts going in my brain and I just kind of wanted to put up a video talking about them. So I definitely want to hear y'all's thoughts on that. Also, if you could think of a whiny and insecure female protagonist in literary fiction or in the classics, please do let me know and write it down below. I can't think of any right now. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.